Yeah, this is the first thing that I can't really say something against. I agree with the 15% roughly increase of power that you need. Um, I don't really have a solution for this, and yeah, I've thought about it with friends and talked about it with friends, obviously already for quite a while. Because yeah, I don't know, getting like millions and almost like billions HP and yeah, DPS and stuff like this is just ridiculous. But I don't have a solution either. In my opinion, LFR is something that they should get rid of. And yes, before all the casuals now start typing in the comments what kind of an elitist I am, let me explain what I mean by this. The issue that the community often has is or why people often are toxic in dungeons and especially in LFR as well, um, is because there is this skill gap that Ian Hazikostas has talked about already. So between me and the average Joe, there is such a big skill gap that I don't know, I could basically PvE wise now, as I said, I'm not the best PvP player. I could take on 3 of them, and yeah, would still win, you know? So basically, I don't know. Yeah, give me 3 random mages from LFR, basically, I would out 3 DPS, even though if you would combine all their DPS. Stuff like this. And does LFR help you being a better player? And I would say no. Definitely no. Not even close. I don't know. I've seen plenty of people voluntarily die, actually, in stuff that they're not supposed to stand in because it is just that boring and they just want to get the gear out of it or the chance of it, of a high Titan Forge, for example, in Legion. And for example, Agromar, you could just jump off the edge, and I've seen people doing this, jumping off the edge there. Immediately after we have pulled, so they basically hit the boss like once or twice, and then they jumped off the cliff, and yeah, I mean they were tagged, right? So they would get loot, and yeah, even if we wiped the first time, then they would jump down there as well. Another thing that is totally bad for the players, in my opinion, is that you get the incentive, not the incentive, that you get the idea of you are being a raider now because you have cleared LFR. I have millions of examples where I see people that are barely able to get their rotation going as well as hitting WASD at the right moment in the right direction and so on. Yeah, and but they get easily through LFR, so now they're raiders, right? So, and especially because LFR is so dumbed down from the stuff that you need to do there, that there is no way that you can improve in the first place. I know LFR is also made for the players that only have like, I don't know, 15 minutes game time per week or so, and of obviously over exaggerating here, just to make it totally ridiculous. No one is only playing 15 minutes per week, but yeah, the players that only have like 1 hour or 2 hours or something like this, yeah, don't raid at all. Sorry, but don't raid at all, because what do you get out of it? I mean, what do you seriously? What do you get out of the raiding then? If everything is so watered down that you can basically go AFK during the fight. For example, I have done a couple of LFRs just to show how stupid this is. I've damage dealt for the first 30 seconds and I went AFK afterwards in a fight where I knew that I wouldn't be like standing and shit or so, and randomly died. Came back 3 minutes later, I don't know, did the dishes or went to the toilet or something. And basically what happened was I was like 10th in DPS. So there were players there that were in the fight for 3.5 minutes that did less damage than I did in the first 30 seconds. Obviously, there's bloodlust time and stuff like this, but this is how bad this system and the difference between the good players and the LFR players are. In my opinion, I mean, maybe they shouldn't get rid of LFR, but please change it so that you have to use your brain. Not at every boss, maybe, but at least, I don't know, at all the wings usually have 3 or 4 bosses. Most of them have 3. So that you need to switch on your brain on at least 2 bosses. Make them a little bit challenging again, because then people actually need to start thinking of what they are doing again. And yeah, if you get the basics of the raiding down, then you can actually go into normal and maybe even, yeah, push your limits a little bit and maybe even go into heroic afterwards. But especially for a new guy that has never been raiding before, LFR is the worst thing added to World of Warcraft. I have a couple of friends that I've introduced to World of Warcraft myself, and I told them never go into LFR. I have really forbidden them that they go into LFR, because I knew if they would see what raiding is about, they would immediately uninstall the game or actually get worse just by doing this. Because there is nothing that you need to take care of. So all the times that I have explained the game to someone, I have taken them into the normal raids, because this is where you actually need to start thinking about stuff that you need to do. You need to avoid different mechanics and so on. Another big issue is that happened to me. I have been on my mage in the beginning of Antoros, and on my tank in Antoros, and yeah, at Agromar, you, as a tank, for the guys that don't know, there is 2 mechanics that he is, or yeah, there's this one mechanic, but two things he is doing. One thing is a swing with a cleave in front of him that you have to single soak, and afterwards immediately turn the boss around so that the entire raid group gets hit. I didn't know that this is different in LFR, for example, and he only does the swing into the group. So instead of having like, okay, you tank alone, you tank with a group, you tank alone, you tank with a group, you tank alone, you tank with a group, it was tank with a group, tank with a group, tank with a group, tank with a group. So it was dumbed down, and yeah, you already can see where I'm going with this. I tanked the first swing totally alone because I was doing the right mechanics according to what I knew. And yeah, the first swing immediately killed me for obvious reasons, because I wasn't supposed to soak it alone. And yeah, and I mean, there are people out there, if you make one mistake, you get kicked out immediately. And in this situation, I was like, I told him in the raid chat immediately that I was doing the heroic tactic, and I didn't know that it was so stupid or dumbed down in LFR that you didn't need to do it. So we wiped, and afterwards we did it again. So I wasn't kicked out of this group. But I don't know. This was one of the worst feelings that I've ever had in LFR, because I was doing the right thing, even though I was doing the wrong thing. You know, you get what I mean. And I don't know. But as I said, I get the point of having the item level not, that it needs to be scaling. And as I mentioned already, I have no idea of how to fix the issues that they are having with the purging of the stats and stuff like this. What is it? They call it the squish, I guess. The item squish, stat squish, whatever. So let's go on.
Next question from Lunavale, who asked, do you feel that the removal of auto-accept and searching for groups by add-ons was a worthwhile enough change for the expense of the individual player's enjoyment and time? So kind of talking about things like World Quest, Group Finder, and so on, that used to be able to just sort of instantly join a group for a World Quest and have it completed within basically a couple of seconds half the time.
So again, obviously, this is a contentious issue. Completely understand there is value in a button that you can press where you push this button and it completes your quest for you in a matter of seconds, like you said, and that's essentially what it was. And it's completely natural to like that and to want it and to miss it when it's gone. The problem that posed for us in terms of the overall pacing of the World Quest experience and how to reward it is that it created a huge gap between people using these add-ons and approaching the game this way and those who weren't. A World Quest, if you are doing it organically, standard solo World Quest, it's kill 10 enemies, free 6 prisoners from these cages. That might take you a couple of minutes to do. And if you wanted to form a group organically, socially for it, you might ground up early in the expansion in Legion. We saw a lot of people who'd say, hey, I'm going to go do some emissaries. Anyone want to tag along? And the few of you could go in a loop and do those things together, gaining efficiency benefits through the actual social experience. I think.
So, this is one of the points where I literally want to move my hands through the screen and strangle Iron Hesychostas. I have no idea. I have literally no idea how he can make this statement with knowing about the current state of the add-on that he is talking about. So, the add-on he is talking about is called World Quest Group Finder. It still exists, and it still works the basic same way that it did before. So, for the guys who didn't know, before, so in Legion is the before time. It was you went over here at every single world quest that you were doing. I'm gonna click on a different one so that you can see that I'm not lying or whatever. So if you click on the world quest, you see on the right hand side over here. Let me remove this. That's just confusing right now for the people that don't know those kind of things. Let me get rid of a couple. Maybe I can I show? No, okay, it's only 2 allowed here. Anyway, so you see that this here, let me get rid of this one. Okay, I cannot. Anyway, you see this one. So every single time I click in here, you see Azeroth Empowerment. You always had this little eye here. In the background, you maybe see that on the right hand side here, there's the normal. So there's like the square thing that is coming from the Blizzard interface. Anyway, before. So in Legion content, you can still see it in the tooltip here, middle click to create a new group. If I middle click now, nothing happens because they have removed this feature. Basically, what happened was it showed you a list of people that were doing the same quest so let's say Azeroth Empowerment. I want to do this, so I fly over to, in this case, it is, what is it? Nazmir. I am I don't know. Let's say I've landed here. Let's do this. And then let's say we're doing Smashing Zalamar. That's a little bit closer. So basically, you moved over here. You ran over here. Then a little pop-up was there, and then do you want to search for a group? And then you said basically yes. You could set up a key for this, and you just spam the key, and then he automatically search for a group. If there was no group, then you automatically created a new group so that other players using the same add-on would join your group. And yeah, so just clicking middle mouse button like 3 or 4 times was actually doing the entire process of getting you into the group. Yeah, and you could do the world quest. And I see, so he made the point that there is a big gap in between the players that were using the add-on and that are not using the add-on. So let's see if they have fixed the add-on. So the discrepancy, I guess, that they have between a player that is using the add-on and not. So before and after, the players not using the add-on were running over there, doing the quest alone, most likely alone. Maybe there were some other Horde players around, or Alliance players on the Alliance side, and then they were doing the quest. Takes them 3 minutes. Still takes them 3 minutes. Legion, with the add-on, you clicked 3 times a button and you were going into the world quest. I don't know, 5 people were there and the world quest was done in like 30, let's say 30 seconds. Now comes the joke. They have removed the automatical group joining there. So what we need to do now, the guys with the add-on, is opening the map or running over there. Then the same will happen that will happen now. Right-clicking it. So if I run into the area here, of the world quest, this will automatically pop up, as I said, or you go on the world map and right-click it. You see search numbers quest ID to edit box. So let's do this. 5650. You're hitting enter and then search. Now I click on this one here. And bam! I'm in the group for the world quest. And see, all the players are here. So I am doing basically the same thing that I did before. The only annoyance that they have created on Blizzard's part is that I have to type in, let me open the world quest again. There we go, I'm just taking a random world quest. So the only annoyance that they have created is that I have to put in this 5-digit code into here. I always, every single time I want to join a world quest group now, I have to type in the 5-digit code in here to search for the people that are doing the same quest. Literally nothing else has changed. So their main point of that there is still a gap between a player using the add-on and not using the add-on is still in place. You just fucking annoy me with the typing in the 5-digit code. That's the only stuff you have done. You are annoying the players that want to play your game the way they want and not the way you force them to. And as I said, I can understand that they don't want this kind of add-on to exist in the first place at all. Here's a solution, Blizzard. Make content that is interesting. World quests are not interesting. No one that I know of wants to do world quests. We do them because we have to. And for the guys who don't know what I'm talking about, we have to because of the Champions of Azeroth, reputation is directly connected to your Heart of Azeroth. For every single, I don't know, point, or stage, I think stage is a better word. So for every single stage, so friendly, for honored, for revered, and for exalted, you get 15 item levels on your Heart of Azeroth. So that's the only reason I am doing world quests right now, because let me explain why that is. I can do this with this add-on here activated a little bit better. So let's see what I am interested as a mythic player or even a normal player should be interested. So the Azerite, yes, but there might be, especially when Mythic Plus gives enough Azerite, there might be enough Azerite in Mythic Plus dungeons so that you actually don't want to do the world quest anymore. So instead of doing like, I don't know, 6 world quests, which you can see is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, so there's a 6. Let's say, so this is giving 1.5% of my current level. This is 1.5, so it's 3%, 5%, 6, 7, 8%, 9%, 9.3% of Azerite. So let's see those 6 world quests I do in like 20 minutes. I can do a mythic dungeon in 20 minutes as well. If I get only like 80% or 90% of the amount of Azeroth that I could get instead of doing the world quest, I would rather go for the mythic quest, mythic dungeon, because the mythic dungeon is actually fun and this story stuff is garbage. Reputation in 2 weeks for a mythic raider is not relevant anymore. War resources are not relevant for a mythic raider either, because the Facebook game rewards reputation, Azeroth, and gold. And gold is for someone like me, I don't know, I have like 3 million gold or something. Who cares? So up until this point here, all of the quests from here already all out of the way, and I don't need to do them. Oh, there's an item reward. 1.5 weeks in. Let's take a look at the current rings I'm wearing. Oh, the current rings I'm wearing are 340, 345, and I am getting a 325. So yes, it might be Titan Forge into I don't know, what is the maximum? 20 item level, I think, or 15. So it might get to a 340 or 345 if it is actually 20 item levels items. So is this a big enough of an upgrade that I would actually go for the ring? No, because the chances of it Titan forging are insignificantly low, so I'm not going to do that either. Okay, war resources, irrelevant. Azeroth armor, I already have, I can show you. Let me actually put on my normal one. So this one, 340, 340, 340. So all the Azeroth armor that I can get here, because it's 325 item level, irrelevant. See where I'm going with this? Irrelevant, and so on and so. The only thing that I might go for is a platinum ore, just because I, if I have gold, then I want to make more gold. But that's basically the only interest or incent that I have in the entire world quest list that you see. Let's go into Kultiras. Okay, I've done all the world quests because I need to have the reputation. Let's take a look. Okay, we get pet charms for pet battles that I'm not interested in. War resources, no. Okay, maybe this one because of the monolith ore again. No. So even this one here, right now a dungeon reward, and it gives an item 340, not necessary anymore for mythic raiders. I know that the game is not tailored towards mythic raiders only, and that the casuals need those kind of things like, I don't know, 2-3 months into the game, and that is quite important to them. But is it fun? That's the question that you always have to ask yourself. Is this part of the game fun for you? And I would say world quests are no fun at all. I am playing the game because of the raid content, and doing the world quests just to get the reputation for the things that I explained earlier is just a chore, not fun. So why not create some stuff that is actually interesting and rewards you with something that is significant. Holy shit, that was hard to say. Significant to you in the first place. Those things are significant for mythic raiders for 3 weeks after launch, and I'd say 2 to 3 months to the casual players or the average players, whatever you want to call them. So why not create stuff that is actually important? But as I said, the garbage point that he was making, that now everything is better now that they have removed the auto accept group function stuff. It's still there. You just made it an annoyance to use the add-on, but it's still better than your garbage looking for a group custom service that you have.
What World Quest